There we go. So we see let me see where we at. Check, check, check. Make sure we are live. So we can't seem to hold this 90. It's like 93.5K level for Bitcoin. Right now we're falling back below this $91,000 level. We're watching this. I took a trade earlier. I took a pretty good trade earlier. Made about $123. I've been trying out my new. Let me fix my camera. I've been trying out my new strategy, intertwining a couple strategies. I like to keep it pretty simple, but I also want to make sure that my hit rate and my win rate. I want to bring it up a little bit more from over the past couple years. Over the past couple years, I've been maybe 40, high 30s, low 40s when it comes to my win rate. So I want to bring that up a little bit more. I want to bring that win rate up a little bit more. Let me make sure we good. But for the most part, we're just watching Bitcoin, taking what the market gives us, and going from there. So we'll see if anybody else comes into the live. This is just an impromptu live. I wasn't planning on going live today, but I said, you know what? I'm just sitting here watching charts, scrolling the internet. Let me go live and go from there. So first and foremost, we like to do our top-down analysis, and then I'll let you know how I was able to catch this trade here. So what I've been doing over the past few weeks is implementing more of a what do they call it? Smart money concept type of strategy, along with, I love my R3 strategy, my reclaim, retest, react strategy. And just different market conditions will call for different strategies. So my main strategy that I'm starting to implement is supply and demand. So I usually get my supply and demand zones from like the hourly, and then I'll enter on like the 15 or the 5, and that's what we did today. We had a nice supply zone, and then we also had a bear flag where we got in off the retest right here, and we took it down. Here we got out off of this wick, or this candle here with this long wick. So we kind of had a hunch that it was going to go back up. So like I said, we made we made about $120. Today we made $500. Yesterday, if you watched my video yesterday, we laid the exact plan of action out for Bitcoin, and that ended up happening. So we got a nice little chunk of change yesterday as well. Let me fix that. So we're up about $600 on the week. Today I took the trade over on Breakout Prop Firm. So I'm still in drawdown though when it comes to Breakout with my $100,000 account. So once I can get back above this $100,000, then I will be able to take profits out, my 90% profit split out. And I'm making a dedicated video talking about why prop firms are useful. A lot of people don't want to use, or a lot of people don't know why, why use prop firm. What's the point of using a prop firm? Just use your own money. But I mean, I'm playing with 100K. I don't have 100,000, or I don't want to use 100,000 of my own money. So I'll just pass an evaluation, or I pass an evaluation, and then I got $100,000 to trade with. So this is pretty good right now. So like I said, let's start with what Bitcoin is doing. Trying to hold this level here, this $91,000 level. And we keep touching it. We keep touching it. We keep coming down. So it seems like it's getting a lot weaker as we continue to go down. So if we start to lose this $90,000 level for Bitcoin, the next area that I'm looking for would be, I think it was like 87,000, somewhere in this area here. So we got 90. Of course, we got a stop at 90,000. But ultimately, I honestly would be looking to come back to this $87,000 area. We'll have a few stops here around 89. Of course, we'll have a stop somewhere around this $90,000 area, but ultimately, we can't seem to hold above that $93,000 area. And if we look on a macro chart, this is what we've been watching over the past few weeks. We've been watching our range highs coming in at about 93.5, and then we've been watching our range low coming in at about 85K. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll continue to see if one or the other side breaks out or breaks down convincingly and holds. We're looking to potentially go back up to that $100,000 level if we can hold above that $93,500 level. But right now it's not really looking too good on that front. And this is where things could get interesting again, where we have our simple moving average, our 50-week simple moving average coming in at about 102,000. And that's, being below that has, like I said, always signified a bear market, getting below there and closing a couple weeklies below there. So we've been below that for quite a while, ever since the beginning of November. So we'll continue to see if what Bitcoin does. But between 93.5 and 85.5 is basically noise. We can trade it. We can find some ranges within the range, or some demand zones, some supply zones. That's what I'm trading right now. But ultimately, on a macro sense, or on a macro scale, we really can't aim for any new highs or any new lows until we can eventually break one of those, break the range high or the range low. So we will watch that. That's what I'm watching over the next few days to weeks, and hopefully we can get some sort of resolution fairly soon. Bitcoin dominance. So this had came down over the past couple of days, and this is what altcoins was running. So Bitcoin was going up, but Bitcoin dominance was going down. So this is why a lot of the altcoins had started to move. So we'll continue to watch this, but we don't really want this to go up as Bitcoin goes down. So if Bitcoin goes down, and then Bitcoin dominance continues to go down or go up, then altcoins are going to bleed heavy. Coin, let's see, CoinDesk. Let's look at CoinDesk really quick. See what's happening in the news today. Tokenization super cycle. So they've been talking about that for a while. Putting everything on the blockchain, tokenizing things, pudgy penguins, man. So it's really not too much going on. It's still kind of quiet. JP Morgan to issue its JPM stablecoin directly on Canton network. We'll have to do a little bit more due diligence on that. Solana Mobile sets January 21st launch date for SKR token, confirms airdrop. See, I'm so upset that I missed these airdrop. I think I missed Bonk. I think they had a Bonk airdrop if you got the phone. So let me look at this. Team that said 20% of the supply has been set aside for users and developers early. Solana Mobile. So how would you even get this? Would you have to buy a Solana phone, or okay, the snapshot was already taken for airdrop allocation, so it's too late to get it now. So they got a token coming out. We're going live on January 21st. And this is another reason why I'm bullish on Solana and Bitcoin. Like, of course, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but Solana is continuing to build, and they're continuing to have real world things in the actual, ecosystem. Like a lot of these layer ones are, I mean, it's kind of vaporware, if you want to be honest. But love or hate Solana as centralized or whatever you want to call it, it has been making real world, or it has real world use case. It has a phone, and now they're about to come out with a phone, the token, the SKR token, which, like I said, goes live on the 21st. So I always wanted a Solana phone just because it was just like one of the first of its kind, but I didn't get one. I didn't get the first one. I wanted to get the second one, but then I just, I didn't even think about getting it. Once the price, I was kind of tuned out, for when it comes to the fundamentals. I was really just so focused on price action, trading, and number go up towards the tail end of 2025, because it was just like, dang, we got to get some sort of run, but we end up not getting that run. So, I'm a little bit focused more in, trying to find things that are going to stand the test of times, because that's the thing we gotta look at right now. What's going to stand the test of times for crypto? Besides Bitcoin, we kind of know Bitcoin is going to stand the test of times, but what else is going to stand the test of times besides, besides Bitcoin, and acting accordingly and going from there? Because a lot of people, Steve Hickey, what's up, Steve Hickey? Called me sold to the moon. Yes, I'm with you, Steve. I'm with you. I'm liking, or I've been talking about Solana, accumulating some Solana. I really wanted to accumulate some under 100 if we do, get there, but for the most part, I've been buying here and there, because I believe Solana, like it or love or hate it or love it, I think is going to stand the test of times, and they're continuing to build. Let's actually look at Solana chart, because that's one that I was looking at for potential a potential retrace and another long. So I mean, basically, once we popped out of this $125 level, we had a break retest, which is this is my strategy I love. So when we come below a macro level, usually on the daily or the 4-hour time frame, and this is a macro level, a macro support resistance level, came back below it, got our reclaim, retest, react. So that's my R3 strategy that I usually use. And we had a nice pop up to resistance, and it's just basic TA. We don't even have to make it harder than it really is. We went from we flipped support or resistance back into support, went to our next level at 145, around 145, actually got to 143 and a half, and got rejected. So right now it's I traded earlier, so I'm pretty much done for the day. I don't want to lose my gains. But when it comes to what I'm accumulating long term, I like Bitcoin, I like Solana, I got XRP. So my overall portfolio consists of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. But I want to make sure I get some Solana in there as well. And then of course, as the market starts to heat up, we'll add a little bit more to it. But that's what I'm looking at right now, and that's what I just been trading pretty heavily and over the past couple of days and going from there. So let's see. Bitcoin seems like it's breaking down right now. Yep, finally getting below. So if I would have held my trade, I probably would have got stopped out, because we got the breakdown retest, and then we came down. This is where I got out at for a small profit, and then we came back above my stop loss. So I would have got stopped out, but ultimately I was looking for us to come back down to this 90 to 90.3K level. That would have been my ultimate take profit if I would have had a wider stop loss. But we'll continue to watch it. I like what I'm seeing for the overall market when it comes to trades. It's been respecting levels. I don't like that we have been not able to hold a bid for Bitcoin and crypto. Like I said, falling back beneath that 93.5K level. But we will see. Hold on, please. Let me type this. Let me get one more. Should be. I gotta update the community. If you're not in the Discord, see the pinned comment for the Discord. Make sure you come over there to the free Discord, where I drop all my real time news, charts, analysis, trade setups. We're 2 for 2 so far this week, and I'm just gonna continue to drop alpha, man. That's what I really love to do. That's why I continue to make, content. I continue to come on YouTube and have a community, man. I love helping. I love when people, win. Because if I win and if we can all win together, man, that's payment enough for me, right now. So let me see. Let me see. Okay. A pallet. Okay, there we go. So who else we got? Steve Hickey, appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. So, I mean, what do you guys think about Bitcoin? If you're still here, what do you guys think about Bitcoin? How low, how high do you think we're gonna go? Do you think 2026? I want to start this conversation because I've been getting a lot of different opinions as to what the overall market. A lot of people think the overall market is gonna do in 2026. So I just, if you don't know, I think the beginning of 2026 will be a little bit of whipsaw action. We'll have a lot of some good rallies to the upside, some good rallies to the downside. We'll have some volatility for sure, but I'm still a little bit weary as to when it comes to the macro environment. So that's why I'm not going all in on buying, right at this moment. I'll buy here and there. But I'm still, if we do start to break below that $85,000 level, which we looked at earlier for Bitcoin, I feel like we're going to go to that $70,000 area. So like I said, the macro, what I'm looking at the macro or on the macro is our range high, like I said, coming in at 93.5, and then the range low coming in at about 85. And then if we lose that, I have an area that I'm looking at coming to this $70,000 to $75,000 area. Anything below there is a gift, in my humble opinion. So I'm excited though, to be honest with you, because I think at some point we're going to get some massive rally. Even if all the markets, the stock market, crypto, if we just crash, because of some unemployment data or something happens, we don't cut rates like people are supposed to, or people are thinking, I still feel like we're going to have some sort of major rally in the future. We break 85 going to 76. Exactly, Steve. So that's exactly what I'm looking at. So that's what I have on my chart. So I got this 85, basically this $85,000 area. And on a macro sense, I'm just looking at it from basic support and resistance, because it's been respecting levels. You cannot deny it's been respecting levels. It's been volatile and a lot of wicks when you zoom in. But when you zoom out, it's been, the market has just told us exactly what it wants to do and exactly, what to look for if then. That's the market. A lot of people want to predict. I hate when that happens, when people try to predict. I don't try to predict. I'm a if then, if then investor, if then trader. If this happens, then this will happen. If this happens, then this will happen. I'm a reactive trader as well. So I don't rarely front run moves. Rarely front run moves. But I'll definitely react to a move pretty quick, once we get confirmation of some sort of breakdown. So like I said, that's what I'm looking for. And even if we look here on a daily time frame, we never really closed above our range highs like that. We had just lower high, lower high, lower high. So this would be another lower high coming in for a lower low on the daily. And it looks like we're trying to come back to our midpoint, somewhere around 87. I had a better chart than this, but looks like we are coming down to this $90,000 area. We may come down and touch that $90,000 area before we see some sort of significant bounce for Bitcoin. So like I said, if you believe that we are going higher from here, then a lot of people have been buying heavy, and that's just what the market is going to do. It's going to make everybody think that it's going up, then it's gonna dump, then everybody think it's dumping, and then we have a nice little rally, just like we saw over here going towards the tail end of December to now. So we came down to what, 80, we wicked down to 84.5, and then our high is about 94.7. So if you would have caught this little bit of that move, that's a nice 12% move from top to bottom. So you wouldn't have caught the exact top or the exact bottom, but it was a nice move from top to bottom, from that range low to that range high. And that's just what we've been doing. And this is number one, my community, we call ourselves the cool kids. And if you've been around long enough, if you've been watching me, for an extended amount of time, I rarely get too excited when the market is going up. And I definitely don't get excited when the market is going, it's pretty much going down. We keep it cool. We keep it cool, especially right now within this range. Like everybody, range lows. Everybody hates crypto. Range highs. We're back to the moon. Range lows. Everybody hates crypto. Range high. Back to the moon. And it's just been, been doing that ever since November. And nothing has changed. So now, possibly going back, we may get another pump here, coming back to a little bit below range highs, and then go back to range lows, and then everybody will hate crypto again. So I would love to see some sort of resolution soon. And even if we break out of this range high, we have this things could get interesting again. If we get back above our 50-week simple moving average, it's been every every bear market, we've retested it at some point. So if we do break above here, going, heading back towards this $100,000 area right now, the 50-week is sitting at 102K. Be expecting a lot of people to be saying bull market back on, but just be careful. Wick's wife. What's up, Wick's wife? Steve, appreciate you for stopping by. Just an impromptu live stream. My last live stream, my internet was acting weird, so I was like, let me fix this. So today it was acting pretty good. So hopefully it's, I'm not lagging or anything, so we can get a nice little chat going. And if you are not in the Telegram or the Discord, rather, make sure you come to the Discord. Link, I think the link is in the pinned comment at the top. So come on over there. It's a good time over there. I got it like a club theme. So it's like we the Cool Kids Alpha Club, but it's like club theme. So all the channels, if you look at all the channels, you'll see what I'm talking about. So what else are you guys checking out? What are you looking at? What are you trying to is anybody trading today? Are we looking for something? Did you trade already? I mean, the market is pretty red. Altcoins are bleeding. Bitcoin dominance is pretty flat. So we're not getting any type of, movement to the upside. A lot of these coins are retracing their moves from the past couple days, which is what we've been talking about. We've been talking about coins not being able to hold a bid. And this is why we've been taking our money. We've been paying ourselves pretty quick. And then if the market breaks out of our macro range, that'll be different. But, these little moves within the range, man, we just taking our money and we, rinsing and repeating. And this is what I've been preaching over the past like 2 months. 2 months. We're not getting emotional about it. We're just going to take, base hits here and there and continue to go. I wanted to look at, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the stock market. Matter of fact, let's talk about the dollar. Let's see what the dollar is doing. Where's the dollar? So the DXY, let's turn this moving average off. DXY getting a pump. We are coming to a little bit of resistance now. So we had a dump. This is when Bitcoin started to go up. Now we're getting a little pump in the DXY. This is on the daily. And look, this basically is in confluence for when Bitcoin started to bottom out or peak out. And then we started to, hold on, let me see what Bitcoin. Okay, so no, this time the DXY has been going up as Bitcoin has been going up. So let me go back to the DXY. So we are getting a little bit of resistance at the DXY. So hopefully this takes some added pressure off Bitcoin as Bitcoin is dumping a little bit. So, it's usually inversely correlated, but a lot of times, it's not. But right now it seems like we are, if we do get above this resistance level coming in at about 98.71 for the DXY, use that as support and go to our next level at about 99,427. I feel like that'll put a lot more added pressure for Bitcoin to potentially go to that $90,000 area. So I'm actually watching the DXY right here. Even though we've been pumping with the DXY, since the tail end of 2025, I would love to see a rejection for the DXY here. I would love to see a rejection. Let's draw it out here, coming back down possibly to these levels over here. And then hopefully Bitcoin can get a bounce and we can start to retest these range highs again. But it's just not enough liquidity. It's not enough. We don't have enough bull power to get past this 93.5K level and hold it. So we'll, like I said, we'll watch it and we'll continue to go from there. Alexandra G is in the building. Appreciate you for stopping by. We're just going over Bitcoin, going over some altcoins. I really didn't do like a macro or a overall scope of the market today. I just sat down about a couple hours ago, found a good trade, entered that trade, and then I think I made like 120. Let me see. I'll actually get you. So I'm trading over on Breakout Prop Firm. Positions, trade history. Let's go to this. Where's my trade history? Trade history. It should pop up. Trading account. Oh, trade history. I think I got to refresh. Let me refresh it. But right now I'm just base hits, and I'm taking. I didn't scale up. I haven't really been scaling up because, like I said, I'm trying to intertwine or incorporate a new strategy with my old strategy. And now we're trying to see the win rate. So if my win rate continues to stay high, I'm like 2 for 2 this week. I had a good trade yesterday, which I called out on YouTube, and then we had a good trade today. If it continues like this, if my win rate continues to stay high, then I'll start to scale up. Because like I said, I want to scale up, but I don't want to scale up before I'm sure about this strategy and how I'm working the strategy. So basically my strategy is, I don't know what's going on with this with my trade history. It should be popping up, but what I'm looking at right now, or how I entered this trade a little bit earlier, if you weren't here when I broke it down. So of course I seen we had a nice bear flag here, but we also had this 5-minute supply zone. So it came down. So we had our drop, base, drop. So that's how we draw our supply zone out. Then we had a bull flag coming into the supply zone. So I put this out over in the Discord. Let's see if I said, let me see. So yep, we got it. So bear flag in supply zone, A+ setup, and then we took the trade off of the retest. So we got in here off the retest, and then we sold basically somewhere in this area. Once this wick, we had this huge wick off of this candle here. So that was telling me that the market is probably going to reverse for a little bit, and it did. So this little move netted me 122 bucks. I think I put this in the Discord. I don't know what's going on. What's wrong with mine? Yeah, so this one netted me, if you can see it, $122.98. I was in the trade for I think about 12 minutes. So regularly I probably would have made about $1,000, $500 to $1,000 if I would have scaled up with my regular size. But like I said, I'm trying some new things out, seeing how it interacts with my older strategy, and then just doing a lot of back testing and going from there. So we will see. Let's see, why if you follow me, Alexandra G. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Bitcoin right now is breaking down. So like I said, I am looking for 90,000, 90K to get hit, which is our next level, and then hopefully we can bounce from there. But I feel like I'm done trading for today. But if we can potentially go back down, because I should have been buying more Bitcoin around 85, anywhere between this. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I don't want to miss a move. I think it was maybe Crypto. He had a good post on X today, and it made me think about the market a little bit differently. He was saying that, how Bitcoin retraced. I can't remember what he said. He said something, but how a lot of altcoins basically went down 90% already, which is like basically a bear market. But Bitcoin didn't retrace like it does in previous bear markets, but it could, it still could retrace, 40, 50, 60. Well, I think it's already 40%. Let's see. Maybe 60%. I think 60%. I said I didn't see Bitcoin retracing no more than 60% this bear market, but I'm not a fortune teller. Let's see how far we came down from peak to trough so far. 126 to 36%. So we already went down 36%. So I said anywhere between 40. I said 40 and 50%. But I can see 60 because usually it's been 70 to 80. So let me see. If we take the top and we come down, 40% would be right at our line at 70 to 75K. That'll be in the 40%, drawdown. And then if we go down 50%, of course, I don't even need a drawing tool to do that. But if we go down 50%, 50% would be 60K, somewhere around 60,000. I could see 60,000. But if we went to 60,000, oh my God, the despair and the people will be, people will be very feeling hopeless about crypto again. But I would see it as a gift. Honestly, I would see it as an opportunity. So I'm saying anything, if we can get back to these range lows, I feel like I'm gonna start to accumulate a little bit heavier because I've been waiting. And I shouldn't be doing this. I think I put in like $400 over like the past month, which is not enough for me when it comes to accumulating Bitcoin. But I was really waiting because I got a nice chunk of money that I'm waiting to get to this area here. Let me go back to my other account, this is the one that I've been using. So if we get this is really my buy. This was really my buy zone, 70 to 75,000. And then, like I said, anything under that would have been a gift. But I'm thinking if we could start getting back to this green level to support this range low, I feel like I'm gonna start going a little bit heavier. And then if we start to break that out, get a little bit, more heavier. And then if, like I said, getting here, I'll probably spend all of my money within this area trying to buy Bitcoin. And then below here, I'll just have to figure out how to make some more money to get more Bitcoin. So that's pretty much my strategy and my plan right now. When it comes to the overall crypto market, me and Steve Hickey, we talked about, what's up, Steve, again? Appreciate you for being here. We talked about Solana. I guess you big on Solana as well. So I'm pretty big on Solana. And it's just going towards the fact that they're continuing to build, and they have real world use cases, and they have people who actually use the chain, even though it was for meme coins, a lot of meme coins. I've had transactions get not denied, just they didn't go through a lot. So a lot of congestion sometimes, but I still think Solana is going to be one of the ones that appreciates. I would love to get Solana at like $100 because I think it's going to 1,000 easily. When? I don't know, but in my head, I'm like, okay, if I buy Solana around $100, somewhere around $100, give or take, I feel like that's a 10x. I'm gonna put that 10x in the book. I'm not saying that everything or anything is set in stone, but I feel like that 10x is pretty much in the books. When it comes to, I feel like Solana going from 100 to 1,000 will be quicker than Bitcoin going from 100,000 to 1,000,000, and that's a 10x. So which 10x do you want first? Of course, I'm the biggest bull on Bitcoin, but also when I look at it from a multiple perspective and how I want to multiply my money the fastest, I'm looking at Solana to reach $1,000 faster than Bitcoin reaching $1,000,000, if that makes sense. So that's pretty much how I'm looking at the market, from that. But from a longer term perspective, or longer term generational, pass this down to my kids things, is pretty much all Bitcoin. So I got, different strategies, different accounts, different ways that I'm saving, and different ways that I'm investing in, Bitcoin and, the rest of these cryptocurrencies. But for now, we're going to trade. We're going to continue to trade, and we're going to continue to find setups and try to make, as much money as we can, whatever the market gives us, and put it back into the market. That's really why I trade, to put it back into the market, to put the money back into the market. So any money that I make in the market, I try to put back into the market. That's, if that makes, a lot of sense. So I'm not really trying to come on the internet and be all, one of them trading bros and trying to do all this other stuff and trying to, get how the trading people are, the trading bros are. I mean, I could teach it, I could do it. I love having a community. We'll figure out how to make it a business, as we go along. But, if you're really in the market and you're really making money in the markets, you don't really need all that other stuff, in order to survive and in order to thrive. So that's how I really look at it. But of course, if I'm doing it every day, I want to kind of make it a business. But we'll figure out, how to do that as we go along. But right now, like we talked about, when it comes to Bitcoin, we are breaking down. Our next level will be 90,000. Well, we'll say 90 to 93, 90.3K. And then if we lose that, we'll be looking at, I'm looking at that $87,000 area, honestly. Of course, we have some stops, but I'll be looking for that $87,000 area $88,000 area if we lose this $90,000 area here. So today we're down $3,000. A lot of people was getting super bullish again. A lot of people were getting, happy again. But if you've been watching me, if you've been watching this channel, we've been talking about keeping it cool, playing it cool, and not getting too excited unless we break above that 93.5K level and hold that at least for 3 days, 2-3 days on daily time frames, and then of course above it on a weekly time frame. Then we can, look for our next level, which was 100,000. But it doesn't seem like that's happening. So we'll see where it stops, and if we can get some sort of a bounce, and if we can get a bounce, if we can catch that bounce, make a little bit of money, like I like to say. What else did I want to talk about? Stock market. Stock market is pretty flat to down where the S&P is at. And the weird thing about this, though, before we talk about it, the weird thing about it is these stocks, like the stock market is pretty much at all-time highs. Stock market, the stock market, this is a new all-time high today. So I guess the stock market, the S&P, I haven't even been looking. The S&P hit a new all-time high today. Looks like if we close like that, we'll have a nice little pullback for the S&P, the way this candle is forming. What time is it? 2:19. So we got about little under 2 more hours before the market closes. NASDAQ is up today, trying to hit these highs, these all-time highs again. And this is what I would have never guessed that the stock market would be at all-time highs and Bitcoin would be acting the way it is. But, it just is what it is. And we'll figure it out. And then, of course, the Dow, I think the Dow hit all-time highs again today. What about gold? Let's look at MicroStrategy really quick. MicroStrategy, that's a good question. I want to ask you guys about MicroStrategy. Cameron 03, what's up, Cameron? Appreciate you for stopping by. Have you looked at the stock ASTS? I have not, but I will. ASTS. Okay, I'm gonna look at that. So I want to look at MicroStrategy really quick. So this is on a daily time frame, and I really want to know what you guys think about this whole. I'm still kind of I'm not confused, but I'm still kind of I don't know how I feel about it. Just because I think they bought more Bitcoin last. So it's been him, it's been Michael Saylor, and it's been Tom Lee. Every time I look up, Tom Lee is buying more Ethereum. I think he's down on his buys. And then every time I've seen what's the name of that? Every time I walk up or wake up and see something is what's his name? Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin. Hold on, let me update this. So I don't know how I feel about that. Still trying to figure out how I feel about that. And we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I may have to end the stream a little bit quick or a little bit short today. I have something I have to do in a second. But how do you guys feel about Michael Saylor and Tom Lee in this? And I feel like everybody's kind of used to it now, but I'm still trying to put my finger on it. Still trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that I know a lot of people don't like the fact that Michael Saylor is basically buying up all this Bitcoin, and a lot of people saying it's gonna blow up, and a lot of people are a little bit weary. I know when he first started buying it, everybody was like, what's the point of Bitcoin if one person owns all the Bitcoin? So we can't look at it like that, because Bitcoin is a network as well, and he can't control the network with just the supply. But I don't know how I feel about it. What do you think? What do you guys think? That's pretty much what I'm saying. And with that goes, pretty much talking about the stock. Do you think the stock long term is a good hold? So we're down massively from the top. When we got the top, this was in November of 2024. We came in at 539. So we are down 70, almost 72%, about 72% from the top. So do you think this is, if it was a time to buy this, this is the time to buy if you think MicroStrategy is going to appreciate. So a lot of people are just correlating Bitcoin's price. If Bitcoin starts to pump, going to those, new highs and things, a lot of people think MicroStrategy is going to, appreciate hard too. And I can see a run. I definitely can see a run, but long term, I don't know. I think this will be a good trade. I think this will be a massive, massive, massive trade once the crypto market does turn around, and once the markets do turn around. This will be one of the first ones I look at. But when it comes to like long-term investing, I'm not too sure about MicroStrategy, not too sure about how they're, getting all this money. And I mean, I kind of understand it, but it's just a little bit too weird for me in order to invest a lot of money in MicroStrategy long term. So that's just one thing that I'm looking at for the long term. Well, or not for the long term. Looking at MicroStrategy, but like I said, I will take that trade. I'm definitely going to take that trade when the markets do turn around. But that's pretty much it. I'm really just watching Bitcoin right here. I'm gonna have to end the stream in a minute. I gotta do something for the fam. So I'm watching Bitcoin right here. See what Bitcoin does if we can reclaim that $91,000 level. But for the most part, just continue to watch this. Our next level will be coming in at like 90,000, like I said. But everything is pretty much noise. This is what we continue to preach. Everything is noise in between 85 and 94, basically 94,000. Between there, you can catch our bounces, we can catch our trades, but till we break below that or above that, it's nothing to get too excited about or too down about. And we'll continue to be here. We'll continue to watch, the markets and give our analysis from my point of view. Make sure if you are not in the Discord, make sure you come over to the Discord. The link is in the pinned comments. I am a $100,000 funded trader. If you want to become a funded trader, you have to take an evaluation. Once you pass that evaluation, then you will be able to get a funded account. I passed an evaluation, $100,000 evaluation. It was kind of hard for me because, so that you got to make sure your risk management is cool. So the hard part was just being patient because you want that money fast. So just being patient. It took me like 2 months to pass it because I was very patient and methodical with my process. So I passed it, got the $100,000, and now we're going to, I feel like this is going to be a good money maker. So I do have a discount code in the description if you want to become a funded trader. I got a lot of videos about how the best strategy to use to become a funded trader, just to become a good trader in general, because you watch a lot of these people and they're flashing all this money, flashing all these profits, these P&Ls. But how many times did you lose? How many accounts did you blow? It's very hard to continue to make all that money unless you're playing with a lot of money. Then it's different. But I really look at percentages as opposed to P&L. Once you can get the percentages down pat, then you move on to P&L. But I've always looked at percentages when it comes to win rate. And if you can make 3% on a $1,000 account, you can make 3% on a $100,000 account. You can make 3% on $1 million account. So that's why I kind of preach looking at percentages as opposed to P&L. But that's gonna wrap it up, man. Appreciate everybody for stopping in. Light blue Lambos. Steve, we not calling out nobody, Steve. We not calling out nobody, man. You crazy, man. I appreciate you, everybody, for stopping by, man. I will probably be back tomorrow around the same time. I like this time. So if you are free, make sure you stop by, hit that bell notification to know when I do go live or when I drop a video. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.